I want to talk about the what happened to me today. Here, I wrote it down, so I'm just going to read it to you. I just came from the MVD, which is the DMV in other states here in Florida, to get an ID card. Been trying to do it for weeks, but there was a line out the door for the past month. Finally, I get up in line and find out what it's all about. On the first of the year, everyone has to have the new ID card. So I asked the manager, what's with the new ID card? Mandatory? This is a bit insane. The guy behind me stormed out with his wife. We've been in this state for 40 years. What's with all this paperwork? We've never needed this before. This is insane. They wouldn't give his wife an ID because she didn't have their marriage license. That was over 50 years ago, she cried. We've been married for over 50 years. Who are you to ask me to prove it? So I asked the manager, so what's the deal with the mandatory new ID card? I asked her, how is it different from the old one? It has a gold star after your name, she says. That's it, a gold star? That's it, she said. Somehow I did not believe her. I take my number and wait patiently. My turn. I go up to the counter. There is an older gentleman behind the desk. This seems like a lot of paperwork, I said. I've never seen anything like this. The older ladies are having quite a hard time. For the record, this is what you need: a passport or birth certificate, a valid Social Security number issued by the Social Security Administration Office, two proofs of address that aren't envelopes, so they have to be, a bill or a government document of some sort. Uh, if you've ever changed your name, the document that you use to do that, even if you want to keep your maiden name on your ID. So you have to have your marriage certificate. If you ever got married, if you got married multiple times, then you have to have multiple marriage certificates. You have to have one for each of your marriages. Now, a lot of the older people are having a problem with this because, well, they don't have them, and they're very hard to find. And some states don't even have them available. Same thing with the birth certificates. Some of these older people who are 60, 70, 80 years old, they don't that one lady at the hospital burned down, and so there's no original copy of her birth certificate. Other older people have a problem because there's no seal on it because they didn't have seals back then. As he talks to me, he's scanning all of these documents that I gave him into the computer. He says, "It's this new computer system. We don't have any of the old information." Since when does the government get rid of anything? I thought. Please stand over there for your picture. Smile if you want, he says. Notice he said picture. I do. I return to the desk. So what's with the gold star? And he looked at me kind of funny. Sorry, I just moved here. I'm not familiar with how you do things in Florida. He looks at me for a second, and I could tell that he's a man that can't lie. Actually, he says, it's the new real ID cards. All this info goes into a computer that can be accessed by any law enforcement or federal government agency instantly. You'll need it to go to an airport, federal court, or any government agency, he says. It doesn't go into effect until 2015, but Florida is trying to jump the gun because are withholding our funding until we can fly. My jaw dropped. Silence. He says, it will invalidate any license you have. You don't have another license, do you? Yeah, my driver's license. Why don't you get a driver's license? Because I can't afford to get a new one. I just have enough for the ID. Well, you don't want to be driving around without a license, do you? No, I don't. Thanks for telling me. No problem. He handed me back my paperwork. Have a nice day. Oh my God and a half. I left my heart pounding. This was some bad news. I got home and jumped on the internet to find out more. Turns out that the picture was a high-res biometric scan. The flash is just for S&G value. All this information you hand them, plus your biometric scan, which is used for face tracking software, all winds up in the hands of, get this, a private international corporation and is used to track you all over the world. Now, that is not planned to go into effect until 2015, but that's the purpose of it. Scary. Yeah, real scary. So you might want to think again before getting a new real ID, and I really recommend that all of you out there protest this. I fight it tooth and nail to the bitter end. Do not get this card. It's bad business. I'm never gonna get it. No, I'm sorry. If I have to ride a horse, I will ride a horse. But I am not. No, I'm sorry. No, this is not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. Yeah. Um, so I don't know if any of you have ever talked to a Holocaust survivor. I have, and they will tell you that this is exactly how it started. This is how it all began for them in Nazi Germany before World War II. This is some real serious stuff. Um, yeah, there's some states that are refusing to comply, but most of them are going along with it because the government is withholding their funding, their state funding, if they don't. So, yep, look how quickly our politicians will sell you out for a couple of bucks. Yeah, it's a really terrible thing, and I don't even know what to begin doing about it. I've got my passport, I'm keeping that. My license in Washington State's good for at least another year and a half. And I'm looking into getting an international driver's permit, which apparently you can get from the AAA. So yeah, that is that's that. Good luck, people, because you're gonna need it. You should be out in the streets about this. Like, if you were ever to be out in the streets about something, then this would be it. I'm gonna print up a bunch of information, I think, and just hand it out to people as they go into the DMV, because people really need to know exactly what this is. So, good luck, America. See you at the camp.